Okay, let's go ahead and get started on our barn painting, or a country scene, whatever you'd like to call it. I had this painting, or I had this drawing just sitting around. I don't even know how long it's been sitting around, and I seen it and I thought, well, heck, let's go ahead and do it. I draw things out sometimes and just forget about them. But we're going to put some pink in our sky today in this painting, and the reason is because it's left over from the other day. I don't want to waste it. So we're going to put some pink in here. It don't have to be real prominent or anything. I just want something a little different. I usually don't use pink in a barn painting. But as I said, it's left over and I had it. And I thought, why not? So we'll throw some pink in here, especially down here toward the bottom. We're going to mix all this up with a 2-inch brush here in just a minute. Let's take some phthalo blue. Yeah, I draw things out sometimes and just forget about them until I run across them. And I thought, yeah, it's time for a barn painting. I like barn paintings anyway, as you guys know. So all I had to do was come up with a scene, and that's what I did. All right, maybe just a touch of Prussian blue up here in this corner. We do mountain paintings like this all the time, this exact kind of a sky. And like I said, the only reason I'm doing it today because I had this pink left over, so instead of wasting it, let's use it. So we're going to have us a big long road right here. I may have some trees leaning in on these edges. You know, I'm just kind of feeling it out as we go. Let me grab me a 2-inch brush. Let's start here in the pink and work our way out. We're just going to blend this up. And I hope I don't take all my lines away from the barn. Sometimes I'll put acrylic on it and then do stuff like this. And that way it saves you don't mess your, if you do away with your lines, it's okay because you have the shape of your barn. That's why I like using acrylic sometimes. This is oil painting, by the way. This ain't acrylic. I do have liquid white in the sky. Nowhere else. Liquid white helps your paints blend good. Just as I'm doing right now. If I didn't have liquid white up here, this would not be blending this easy. But it really helps your paints to blend real nice. See how soft that is right there? That's what I'm wanting. Nice and soft. Don't want no harsh sky today. And I'm staying out of this real dark Prussian blue for as long as I can. And now I've got to get into it. And that's okay. I like my corners and the top and the edges darker typically. I think that looks really good right there. I like the softness. That's what we're after. All right, let's go ahead and work on our barn. Let's put some color down on the barn. I'm going to make it probably bluish today. I got some blue, black, some white with a touch of brown. Let's see what. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of got a grayish look to it. I think we want the sun or the light to be shining down this way. And that's what I'm thinking. So this side here will be a little darker. I'm just going to place the colors. I'll go around this off camera, around the edges, and just to speed up the process. Let's add a little bit more white to that color that we just did. Let's see if that makes a difference. That's a little lighter. Let's take a little brown, little alizarin crimson mix in there. It's a little lighter. We want this to be brighter. That would be the brighter side of the barn. Let's just go around. This is just, we're just putting color on the canvas. This is our first coat, so you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to worry so much about you know, varying the colors, even though I do have a mix of colors in here, it's not real critical at this moment. We're just putting color down basically. Just putting some color down. I'll have to get a smaller brush to go around some of these edges, I do believe. And we'll do that off camera also. Now for the roof. I don't know. Let's see what a little brown, burnt sienna, some white, throw in some yellow ochre. Let's see what kind of color that gives us. And I think this, I'll have to get a smaller brush. I think this barn comes all the way, there's a little lip sticking out of the front of it. I call it a lip, I don't know what it is. Overhang, that's probably better. Little overhang on the front of this barn. And I'll have to get a smaller brush to get that. Because that is pretty small. This is a number 2, I believe. Yeah, that's a number 2 brush. I use round brushes a lot. This is a round brush. I use them a lot. Just different size round brushes, usually from number 1 to number 4. I don't have any bigger than that. But I want to continue, get a smaller brush, do some of these edges, and we'll be back in a second. All right, let's go ahead and put some color on the canvas for our grass. I'm going to do this side right here for you. We're going to start right there. I'm going to take some, and that's all we're doing. I'm just going to throw some color down. I'm going to take a 1-inch brush, and I'm going to mix it all up. This is just color on the canvas. This is not our final product by no means. And this is how I like to do it. Everybody does things different. I've seen other people do things completely different than this, and that's fine. Totally fine. It's just whatever you like, whatever you get used to. The sun is coming down this way, we've determined, or the light, I should say. So this is going to be darker right here. I'll wind up putting some Prussian blue as soon as I get past this point. As soon as I get my brighter colors down, that is. Let's take some green. Let's throw it in. Let's take some, I don't know, just take some random stuff. Let's take some burnt sienna and throw it in. Why not? That's an odd color, isn't it? More green. More green. Let's take a little Cadio light, throw it in this area. And we're going to mix all this up with a brush here in just a second. Take a little brown. I'm just throwing different colors in today just to see what happens. More green. More green. And I got this paint here. This is left over from a mountain. This has got some dark colors in it. Not dark enough, really. But let's see what we can get out of here, just so I don't waste it. This is kind of a bluish black. I don't know what it is. It's just a big mix of colors. Some alizarin crimson. Let's take some Prussian blue. I like it a little darker than that. Let's see, let's put some Prussian blue right in here, because we know there's a shadow from this barn. Okay, let's take a 1-inch brush. This is a clean one. Let's go ahead and start mixing up some of these colors. And all we're doing is putting color on the canvas. We're going to take a fan brush when all this is said and done, and we're going to mix it all up. Or not mix it up, make grass. We're mixing it now. And you notice I stayed out of this blue for as long as I can, but now let's go up here and get into it. Once you get this blue on your brush, it's It's pretty much there to stay. I'll be honest with you, it ain't coming off easy. And we're just going to come down here. We've lost the shape of our road, and that is okay. Well, let's go ahead and put some color on the road. We're just moving right along. We're going to start here and work our way down. Remember, when it's going to be lighter here. As things get closer to you, it will become darker. Let's take some yellow ochre. Actually, let me make sure I don't have too much. I may have to switch brushes. I just had a lot of green in that brush. I did that the other day, and I thought, ooh, that ain't going to work. So let's just go ahead and switch brushes. I got a clean brush. Let's take some yellow ochre, a little white, clean white. We're just putting the color on the canvas is all we're doing. This is not the final result, but we need to go ahead and put some color on this road. Yellow ochre, some white. Let's put a touch of brown in it. We can get this much of it done today. I usually work, like this painting here, it's just going to take me about an hour. By the time I put color, it's an hour. And then I'll let it sit overnight. Tomorrow I'll work about an hour, hour and a half on it. And if I need more work, the next day I'll work another hour and a half. You know, because I don't have a lot I have to work. And this actually is beneficial because it allows the paint to dry a little bit. And that's what I do. I work on it about an hour, hour and a half a day, and I have other paintings I can work on while this is drying. This is burnt sienna. And that seems to help me quite a bit. Let's take some burnt sienna and some yellow ochre and mix it. It's kind of a little pinkish color, and let's take some brown. I don't like that color there too well. There we go, that's better. And I'll probably wipe this road off too, just to get the drying process started so I can put paint on top of it. Painting is about layering. Let's take some raw umber, getting a little darker in it. Getting a little darker as it's coming toward us. Let's take some more raw umber. Raw umber is darker, as you can see how dark it is. It's a lot darker than burnt umber. And let's take a little alizarin crimps and let's throw some weird stuff in here. Prussian blue down here at the bottom. Make it dark. Let me get a big brush. This had some blue on it. I don't want to put it up in here, but I think down here it would be okay, just to speed it up a little bit. This road needs to be darker down here at the bottom. I may make this little mound, I may make this a mound, like a little hill right here. I might. So if that's the case, it'll be dark down here anyways. This whole area down here should be dark. So that would work out good if I made this a hill and the sun or the light is coming down from the upper right. That would work out good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, I've been working on the road a little bit. I put some black down here in the center. That's going to be some grass. So let's go ahead. Let's get some sap green, maybe some ochre. Probably more green than ochre for right now. And we're just going to tap some grass in here. It's going to get the light is coming down from the upper right to the left. We're just trying to give this thing some color, particularly on this left side right now. Okay, let's make it a little brighter as we come across. Just take some cad yellow light. Let's put some cad yellow light in here. Let's brighten it up just a little bit as we come toward the right. A little bit more yellow. Okay, now let's put a lot of yellow, pure yellow. Let's brighten this edge up over here a little bit. Our brush is dirty, so it's not going to be what you would call super bright, but brighter than what it is. We don't want it super bright down here. But that's not too bad right there. Let's take our brush. Sorry, I almost dropped my palette there. I'm going to pull some of this darkness over right here. This is a shadow area. Pull some of this over. See, that looks better right there. And I'll probably eventually take a little bit of white and just like flowers, or maybe not flowers, but just some color, more color on it. Okay, let's go ahead and start working on some grass. We're going to work on this side. Don't pay any attention to these two trees. This painting is really dry. It's actually been sitting around 4 or 5 days. I had to go help my mother for a few days, so I'm behind. I got to get this painting done, or man, I ain't gonna have nothing to post. I'm gonna take some cad yellow light, mix it with some ochre, and we're gonna start back in here. That looks too dirty, don't it? I think. Let me put more yellow, more cad yellow in that. I want a little brighter than that for this kind of a distance. You know, the further away something is, the lighter in color. As it comes closer, it gets darker. We'll probably get some on our little barn here, and that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit this spot right here. Try not to get too much on the barn, but it is what it is. If I do, I do. Take care of this problem, or in this area right here. I'm going to do a little bit further down, then I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to save this brush for clean paint. I have a bad habit, and a lot of people do. I'll use the same brush for bright paint, and then stick it right back in the dark paint. Well, when you do that, you can't go back to the bright paint hardly. And I have a bad habit of that. Everybody does. Let's take some, this is going to be dark here, by the way. Let's take some cad yellow, yellow ochre, sap green. Let's throw some of that in. That is definitely a muddy looking color today for some odd reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I guess it's all right. I mean, it's just yellow ochre and sap green. Maybe my eyes ain't working right today or something. It looks a little odd to me for some reason. This is going to be a shadow of the barn right in here. And we're just going to work our way on down here. Let's take some more sap green. Throw it in. Yeah, this is a pretty big fan brush I got going on here. Make sure I get close enough to this road area. Take some burnt sienna and throw in just for the heck of it, just to mix some colors up, just for something different. And that's definitely different. More sap green. You want to make sure you get some of this into the road. Yeah, it don't hurt to mix your collars up, man. The more collars, the better. I don't like this area up in here. I'm going to take my other brush and work on that. I don't like that. Oh, more sap green. We're about ready to switch over, though, to get some Prussian blue in this. Let's take some Prussian blue and some crimson, alizarin crimson. Let's start getting it pretty dark down here. Darken it up. I think I'm gonna have some trees maybe coming on these edges right here. I'm just winging this. There's no plan or anything. I'm just, use your imagination. We've all seen country scenes before, and we know that there's sometimes hay bales, lots of grass, barns, old roads, fence posts. Just use your imagination. See, that don't look too bad. I think I like that a lot better right there. Okay, I finished up the right side here. I think I want a tree right here. I don't want to stick in too far into the painting. Let's just take some raw umber. Let's see. I just don't want it in the painting very far. Just trying to mark it out. I think I'll just have it run off the painting. I think that might be better. Just make all this tree right in here. I'm gonna wipe this off before I keep going. And let's take a branch. I don't know. Let's just throw it right here. Okay, that will be our branch. Let me go ahead and paint this in right here so I can get a better idea of how it looks for the moment. Okay, paint a branch in. I've definitely got to put one on this right side. It definitely needs one. Okay, I think that's probably going to work. I think this will probably be okay. I'll put some more branches on that. All right, I wiped this tree off a little bit here. Let's put some small branches on here. I'm going to definitely take my liner brush afterwards, after we get the leaves on here. And we are going to make some small branches. These brushes, this is a number 1. This is the smallest that I have. And, you can only get so small with the branch. Twigs look good. I'm going to start doing that more often. I have a tendency not to use the liner brush as much as I should. Bad habit. Because you should always use your liner brush if you can. Just making these branches as zigzaggy as we can. I brought it over a little bit more right here. But yeah, you can only do so much with a round brush. I use round brushes a lot. I guess because they last me more than other brushes. A lot of other brushes I use, man, they just don't last. I tear them up so quick I can't keep them. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to use my liner brush yet. All right, I went ahead and worked on the tree over here on the right. Let's put some leaves on this tree over here. I'm just taking some black, Prussian blue. Let's start with the dark leaves. Some raw umber. And I'm just going to start flipping them in. That's what I call it. Tree's real wet right here, of course. So we don't care if we cover all that up right there. Prussian blue, black, raw umber. You can throw green in there if you want. It's whatever you want. This is a number 4 brush. This is a big brush. I'm using a brush this big just to cover some space kind of quick. And we're just going to throw the dark ones in here first, dark leaves. I'm glad the sky is dry. The tree is not, but the sky is, and that very beneficial. Very beneficial. I wish the tree was dry, but that just ain't how it works. Considering we just put it in. Okay, let's just keep working our way down here. Just come up, we're just making these designs up. It's a tree, so just use your imagination. Where you think a leaf should go, or leaves. Throw some down here if we want. Like I said, this tree's very wet, so is this grass. But I think it's okay. I think we can throw something down here. Okay, let me look. Okay, let's get us a mid-tone. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm just going to use yellow ochre, sap green. Let's see what this kind of looks like here. Just a mid-tone, just a different color other than what we just put on, basically. Something different. Yellow ochre, sap green. I got a nice little pile there. Just a mid-tone, just kind of going over some of the, remember the light is coming down this direction. That's what we've determined. Just throw it in. It's more ochre. Got to be able to see it. Throw some back in here. Sometimes I'll lay my brush sideways because when the paint's wet, you can't really do the comma stroke because you're not going to get anywhere. You have to kind of lay your brush flat. Such as what I'm doing right here. Okay, that don't look too bad for now. Okay, let's get some, actually I kind of like it. Let's get a different brush. Now, I'm not sure if I got enough cad yellow light on my palette or not. I've been having to refill, been going through some paint, but we'll use what we have. And let's start putting some highlights on. The light's coming from this direction. This is actually, I got some yellow ochre mixed with this. So this isn't pure cad yellow light, which is probably better. I kind of tend to overdo, it's one of my favorite colors. I kind of tend to overdo the cad yellow light sometimes. Surprising, right? If you've ever seen any of my paintings, you'll know that's not surprising. I just can't help it. I like it. I like bright colors. And we're just starting on the outside of these. See right here? We're starting on the outside and we're going in. That keeps the paint from getting all dirty and muddy if you start on the outside and work your way in. Stand back and look. Okay, it don't look too bad. Oh, let's hit a few spots on the inside of the tree here. Let's do some up in here, here and there. I know there's light coming in here from somewhere. Can't stop that sunlight. Okay, let's take a look. Stand back here a little bit. Okay. Stand back and look. Let's put a little bit more right in here. Stand back and look. Okay, let's do a little bit up in this area. You know, you're just looking for spots that you think need something. That's it. It's nothing more than that. I'm just standing back because it's always better to stand back and look. And I'm just looking for areas that kind of looks like it needs some yellow, some highlight. Okay, that don't look too bad. That's all you're doing, just standing back looking. All right, we're putting some fence posts in now. Of course, we're not finished with them. I just put those in just a second ago. I'm gonna put 2 or 3 right over here. Oh, let's see. I want them to be pretty big, I guess. Maybe crooked. I know this is dark right now. But we're going to put some right here. Maybe 3. I want them crooked. One more. Can't have 2 of anything. You got to have 3. Let's just do this. One big fat one. Now, let's take a little, just so you can see the darn thing, just take a little color. Let's put a little collar on this just so you can see where they're at. You know, this is in the shadowy area, so it's not going to be really this bright time it's all said and done. But you probably want to see what you're doing, or what I'm doing. This is just yellow, yellow, ochre and white. And just run it down like so. Okay, we'll take care of these here in a minute. Let's see if we can do anything with these other ones. I'm gonna set my palette down. I kind of gotta, these are smaller, I gotta be braced. So I usually put my elbow on this paper towel that I have here in front of me, if I need to. Let's just touch them. There's not a lot to them, really. I mean, they're pretty small, pretty far away. I think that's fine. That looks really good, I think. Just that, just touching them. That's all it needs. It's too far away to do anything else with. Let's put some right here. And these are getting a little bigger. I'll have to do more to these. This one's kind of funny looking. I'll have to do something with it. Okay, there's one right here. Let's put some stuff right there. Let's run some of this down the side. I think I might even put a touch of red in some of these. Alizarin crimson, I mean. Oh, let's see if I got a smaller brush that's dirty, and I do, which is a good thing. Okay. Let me get a little bit of sienna and put on some of these. Ochre and sienna mixed together on these closer ones right here. Some of these closer ones. Let me go ahead, might as well do the other side here. Burnt sienna and ochre, just for some color variation. Take a little alizarin crimson. This will probably, there we go. Now you can see it. Got some red going on. Red is a foreground color. It's perfectly fine to use up front. You know, it makes it look, gives it some class. Makes it look a little different. I think it's fine. Makes it look a little different. Yeah, I'm gonna take some Prussian blue with my dirty blue brush. Oh, let's get some of that off of here. I think these might be a little too far away to really do much. But I got them anyway. Okay. That looks all right. Let's put a little bit down to the back side of this. See how this Prussian blue just, it pulls the post out, man. Contrast. I mean, it really, and that's why I use Prussian blue a lot. Trees, post, on certain things I use Prussian blue quite a bit because it's so dark and it's a great shadowy color. You know, I mix it with raw umber a lot of times. Raw umber and Prussian blue mixed together. I may do that right now. Let's put some stuff over here. These are real dark anyway. These are not supposed to be as bright. Man, that's a real chunky post, ain't it? Oh well. I think it's okay. I mean, I just didn't, I think I made it too chunky. In my opinion. I definitely don't like that post. I may have to figure something out on that. You know, if you don't like something, just fix the darn thing. If you don't, it'll aggravate you until you do. All right, folks, it looks like a wrap. I think it turned out pretty good. How to paint a country scene. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for more future videos. And thanks for watching.